Hey, Carsten.
Yeah, now it's on-prem work, so I'm the one again, right? So we are now at point 9 in our list, and we will deploy VDI VM
Mhm.
on the Azure Stack HCI cluster with our sysprepped image. So it
Correct.
maybe is a bit longer video because I'm so slow. So let's dive just into it.
Okay, so
So
maybe I should do the talking and you are the doing. At
okay.
least, sometimes that helps me at
Yeah.
least. Um, yes, so Carsten, remember we created the sysprepped file or the golden image, if you will, with the Notepad++ applications, and now it's the time to prove that this one is really working. So Carsten will
Yeah.
create a first virtual machine, put it into the domain, move it to the right organizational unit, and then boot it up, and we'll see if that works. So important is that this virtual machine has internet connectivity. So we need to reach the internet for some reasons, which
Yes.
is, we will have inbound connections, sort of. So there will be users that need to, come via the internet. However, from a virtual machines perspective, it will look like an outbound connection, um, but at least we need to have the path to the internet, right? Um, and yeah, so that's one thing. So remember for name resolution as well. Later on, these VMs will tell the Microsoft AVD control plane that they are there, that they can take users. So that means you need to have successful internet name resolution for these guys as well, right? So they need to resolve Microsoft addresses so that they can reach the AVD control plane, tell your host pool that they are accessible. Yeah, and that's basically it. So let's see what Carsten is doing. So he's creating some folders and a virtual machine. It was
Yes,
again
I wanted
generation two.
to let you finish. Yeah.
Mhm,
So I did a quick creation of a virtual machine, a
mhm,
Generation 2 VM, not too fancy, 8 GB of memory, and I added 4 virtual processors. We can even take 8
mhm.
or so. It's a
Ooh,
multi-user machine. I connected it to a virtual switch, Hyper-V
right.
switch, and
Mhm,
did some VLAN tagging here. Uh, the automatic stop action I changed to shutdown.
mhm,
We explained that in an earlier video, and I didn't create the operating system disk because we have already, as you mentioned, our sysprepped
mhm,
disk. We did in a 2 former videos where we downloaded it from Azure and sysprepped it. So
mhm,
now I created just a machine without a disk, and
mhm,
the disk part I'm doing now. So I
mhm,
let the Hyper-V manager create the directory for us.
mhm,
Our machine is called AVD V11 MS for Multisession 1, and we will create at least one more offline
mhm, mhm.
so that we have the possibility to use different machines to log in. So
Okay.
then I went into the directory, and because I didn't create a virtual disk, there was no virtual hard disk directory. And I
Mhm,
like to have my directories in order, so I created it manually, and I
mhm,
will now copy our sysprep disk over here.
mhm. Okay.
No, I didn't copy it. I moved it. That's bad. So I should copy it, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we didn't have a sysprepped image anymore.
Mhm,
And it starts very fast and then it drops down to 0. That's another story, but eventually it will copy the disk over. It's doing it in waves. You see
mhm.
here, right?
Yeah, it's like,
It's so nice, waves.
yeah.
Okay, but it will finish the copy eventually, and then I have, of course, to add the disk to our machine. So I go
Mhm,
again to the settings.
mhm,
Now, on the SCSI controller, we have no hard drive because we skipped it. So I have to add a hard drive here.
mhm,
And then I can choose with browse, I can choose the file. So I see here of the hypervisor, the remote directory, because Azure Stack HCI doesn't have a GUI, so we can't run Hyper-V Manager on Azure Stack HCI, so I have to do it remotely. And here's my directory, and here's my virtual hard disk directory, and here's our sysprep disk. We could rename it if you want to, because in the moment we could rename it to the machine name. Maybe we do that.
Yeah, you can do a right. You should be able to do a right click on this one.
Yeah, let's see if that's possible. No, it's
No,
only select.
no, this
So
is
I
the.
have still this one open. So I change it here, F2, and it should be AVD. Then we have 11 MS1, right? And you can also do drive C or how you like. So it should be possible. Yes, it is. So here we have to cancel this and do it again. Browse here.
Yeah, this
Virtual
wizard does
disk.
not is not very dynamic. Yeah, I experienced that as well.
It's a bit old. It's deprecated,
Yeah.
so it's okay. So now we have added our disk, and we have to change our boot order. No, it's already here, but let it.
Network. Yeah, network.
We moved it up. It should work, but you never know. So now we can start our machine. We go out of this directory. We don't need this one anymore. We can now connect to the console, and we start it. So I hope it starts. I think so. And I have the password somewhere because we have only our local administrator. Yes, I think I remember the password. And
well,
when we log in,
it's a sysprep thing, right? So you should be asked for a
yeah.
new password. Then,
You're so
anyways,
right. You're so right. It's sysprepped, correct. So it will ask
is
us
there
again, maybe for some
yes,
language.
there is a reason. Is there a specific reason why you choose Hyper-V Manager instead of Failover Cluster Manager for creating that virtual machine? Anything? No. Is it?
Just how you call that when you are used to use Hyper-V Manager.
Yeah.
If you would import it a machine, a template, Hyper-V Manager would be the right one because Failover Cluster Manager can't do that. But for creating, you could create it with Failover Cluster Manager, and it would have the advantage that the VM would be already in the cluster. So in the moment it's not in the cluster, we have to do that in a separate step. You're completely right. I could do it with Failover Cluster Manager.
Yeah, there are multiple ways of doing it, right? However, you know,
I'm
like
an old
me,
guy. I'm used to
yeah,
Hyper-V Manager. You know that, right? So,
same here. So, yeah, sometimes
but
you have your preferences, and
yeah.
it's hard
But
to
you are
change.
right. Failover Cluster Manager, or even Windows Admin Center would be maybe the better tool to do it, or the Windows Admin Center would be the more modern tool. So we accept the license terms, and now I have to give a password here. It's a local administrator password. I hope I did it right. So, and here we are. We can use enhanced session mode. Maybe we have to copy something into the machine, so that would be easier, but we also have internet access, I guess. So I will use that.
I think not in this session, but there will be a later video where we need to have copy paste, or where copy paste is very useful. And
so I remembered the password I just set, so that's good.
Yeah, love
yeah,
it.
you never know. And here you see we installed in our preparation video, we also installed Notepad++ as an additional application. Our image also has Office installed, and you see here
Teams
it
is there.
starts Teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice.
Good.
So now we have network already. So now we will add this machine to our Active Directory, because group policies will only work, and the users that we synchronize to Azure will only work if we do it.
And it's also a requirement by AVD, right? So until, or at least at this time when we took the video, right?
So now we have to find the add to, it's something with the about stuff, I remember, but where is it? It's
if you go
system.
to right click on the Windows logo, or I think you have it already. Yeah, there it
here,
is.
right? It's
In the middle, I
something.
think. In the middle, there's
Yeah, there it is.
workspace. There
That's
it is.
that's the most what we do, this is the part that is the most difficult to find the place to add the machine to the domain. Yeah, I'm not joking.
No,
Partly it's a joke, but it
he's
is really hard.
joking. Yeah, but
So we will also change the computer name, of course. It was
Mhm.
AVD W11 MS1, and I will try to also to add it to our local Active Directory. And this is not the right way to name a domain, but it's an old one, and it will be die very soon. So let's do that. And he asked me for a user, and let's try to do that.
yeah,
So
name
that works
resolution
like a
works.
charm.
Hey, cool.
So we have to restart the machine. I will do that.
Mhm.
And in the next video, I would say we
Yeah,
will
if you
prepare
would
it.
have your domain controller ready, right, you could move the VM to the right organizational unit if you want to.
I do. I have my domain controller ready, so it should be in the computers group.
Mhm.
Let's see. Let's do a reload here. And where is it? AVD window W11 MS1, and we move
Mhm.
it to AVD hosts.
Perfect.
So now if
All
we
there.
look at AVD host, we have it in the right organizational unit. Okay, so I think we are done here, and
Yep.
in the next video, we will do something more with our virtual machine. See
All
you there.
right. We will join them to the host pool. See you there.